Welcome back to Science for Earth, your favorite DJ on the mic, ASYRANI, and today we got something special lined up for you. But hey, I'm not alone in this studio. I've got my amazing crew with me. Let's line up the airwaves with some introductions. First up, give it up for the brilliant mind with the coolest vibe, AZZATY. Let us know who you are.
Hi guys! Hi, my name is AZZATY. I'm the functional genomics specialist and I focus more on understanding how genes work and their products like RNA and proteins. Yeah, it also contributes to the function of our cell, tissues and organism. So that is all about me. So yeah.
Wow, that's AZZATY, everyone. Next, standing up to the mic, smart, sharp, and totally unstoppable. Hafika, take it away.
Hi, I'm Hafika, and I'm here as a proteomic expert, which my job is to analyze the protein structure, expression, and interaction to understand the biological processes and advance the application in healthcare and also environment research.
Yes, Hafika, bringing the heat. And last but not least, the man with the facts and the fun. Jeremy, the floor is yours.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy Brian Joshua and I'm the Environmental Application Analyst which evaluates environmental data and develops software or analytical tools to support decision making for conservation, resource management and pollution control. Hi again everybody.
And there you have it, Team Science for Earth in the house. Stay tuned, we are exploring how cutting-edge science, specifically functional genomics and proteomics, helps to maintain the healthy ecosystem, aids in cleaning up the pollutions and support the environmental conservations. Sounds heavy, but don't worry, we are breaking it all down for you.
Okay, so why not we start?
Yes, start. Let's get started.
Let's go.
I think we should start simple so that our viewers know what we're talking about.
Yes.
So basically, functional genomics is about understanding how genes function. So what they do, the gene is actually, it works like a switch. It can be turned on, turned off, or something like that. And how they actually interact with each other. So it's like zooming into the instruction manual of life to see which parts are active. Just like a recipe book. You have recipe books at home, right? We all have.
We love to cook.
Yeah. So it's like a recipe book that has many recipes. DNA is actually has many recipes that helps build and run everything in our bodies, from our eyes and hair and how we fight off diseases. So scientists study genomics to understand diseases including cancer and also genetic disorders.
Right. That's from genomic perspective. And proteomics is study of all proteins in a cell or organism,
Yes.
like us human. If genes are the instruction, proteins are the machine that do the actual work, like building structure, breaking things down and sending signals. In environmental science, tracking these protein changes help us understand how organisms react to pollution, climate shift, or toxic exposure, which often occur before any visible symptoms appear.
Yeah, exactly. It's very interesting, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, AZZATY mentioned about recipes just now, right? Okay. Now, let's think of genes as the recipes and protein as the finished meals. By studying both, scientists can gain a deeper understanding of how living things function and respond to stress or environmental pollution.
Yeah, and just like that, we have unlocked the power behind the genes and the proteins. Pretty cool, right? Now let's take the knowledge and shift our focus a little. Because those tiny molecules does not just tell us about the human health. They also reveal what's going on around us. So up next, we are diving deep literally into the ecosystem health. What's happening beneath the surface of our soil, our water, and our forests. So, and how can functional genomics and proteomics helps us to detect the pollutions, track changes, and protect the environment. So guys, what is really going on beneath the surface?
Yes. When we examine an ecosystem, whether it's rainforest or even coral reef, there is hidden world of microbes, including bacteria, fungi, and also algae, which will play a significant role in the ecosystem. This functional genomic help us to understand these tiny organisms and their role in supporting our ecosystem.
Yeah, it's true. You know, when talking about microbe, we see that it is like a very little organisms living.
Yeah.
And it seems small, but it actually works very significant in our life, right? So just as microbe help plant grow by fixing the nitrogen cycle in our soil, and also do you know that fungi can break down organic matter? So imagine if the genes stop working, imagine due to our pollution that occurring right now, due to the climate change that we are facing right now, the entire ecosystem will suffer and it will affect us in the future.
Yeah, exactly. I think AZZATY would know about this since she is the expert for the genomic. That do you know that scientists can use genomic tools to detect early signs of stress in this organism? It's like a health checkup, but for the environment, long before we see the apparent damage.
Yeah, with the proteomics, we can see not just the potential, but what is happening right now, which proteins are active, and what processes are at work.
And here's where it gets cool.
What is it?
Bioremediation. Yes. This is when we utilize living organisms such as bacteria or plants to clean up pollution, oil spills, heavy metals, plastic waste, and other contaminants.
Like right now we see there's a lot of oil spills occur
Yeah,
in the river,
exactly.
right? We can see many pollution, like the water, the river becomes black. Oh my god, it's so bad.
So disgusting.
Yeah.
So I think genomic right now is very important. Like functional genomic actually helps us to identify which microbes possess the necessary genes to break down the toxic chemical. It cannot be break down by itself, so we need something to work on. So we can even enhance or grow more of this microbe to do the job faster. So we need to make it faster because prevention is better than
Cure.
Yes.
Right, that from the genomic perspective, and for me, a proteomic expert, the proteomic will tell us if the microbes are actively producing the right protein to digest the pollution, because we don't know if that microbe that we use is even working. So with using proteomic technology, we are not just guessing, but we also can track the real-time progress.
Yes, you are right, Hafika. Instead of dumping chemicals to clean up the other chemicals, we are using a biology, a smart, safe, and sustainable approach.
Yes, that's how powerful biology is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very amazing, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Azati, how about the conservations?
Okay, let's talk about conservation. It's a very interesting topic, right? Imagine trying to save endangered species or restore a damaged habitat. Genomic provides us with a data on genetic diversity, specifically the number of different versions of genes that exist in population. That is very crucial for resilience.
Yes, that's right, AZZATY. Population with low genetic diversity are actually more vulnerable to disease and climate change. So, if they are exposed to this, they might go extinct. By understanding their genome, we can inform the breeding program and reintroduce effort to enhance the genetic diversity of this species.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And do you know that in habitat restoration, such as rebuilding a coral reef, proteomics can help monitor the health of the organism that we reintroduced. So these are the questions that keep on going on around. Like, are they adapting or are they under stress? Yes.
Yeah, essentially, we are no longer walking in the dark. We have the tools to make informed decisions that truly work in a very long terms. So, previously, we have unpacked the concept of functional genomics and proteomics. Now, we are taking it a step further into the real world. Yeah, we are explore specific case study where this technology have been applied to address the real world environmental challenges. So, get ready to see the science in action. Let's start with the oil spill. I heard that bacteria in mangrove mud can help to clean up the oil pollution. Is it true?
Yes, definitely, Ashrani. It is very true, and it is incredibly cool. In a study by Dos Santos and team in 2020, scientists took samples from oil-contaminated mangrove sediments, where those swampy areas near the coast, and use a method called shotgun. No, not the one that you're thinking. It's
Yeah,
a shotgun
sure.
method genomics to look at all the DNA from every microbe over there. Yeah.
Exactly. I heard of that studies too. I make research on it. So they use functional genomics to pinpoint the genes in these bacteria responsible for breaking down oils, such as one called ALK-B, which acts like a scissor for the hydrocarbon molecule. So imagine hydrocarbon is like a long chain, and this genomic, it helps to cut it out and breaks down the long chain of hydrocarbons. So that is how biology can help us in bioremediation. Then they can actually stimulate the environment to help these bacteria to thrive.
Wow, thank you, AZZATY. That's from the genomic. From proteomic side, they can track which enzymes are being produced, helping to confirm that the cleanup that was occurring at the molecular level. Therefore, in the future, we could custom select microbes to clean up specific spill in different places in the world.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, what a fascinating study. I got to admit that I always thought the protein were just something we get from the food.
Oh, no.
But you are telling me that they can actually reveal when an animal or even an entire river is under stress? That's wild.
Yeah, actually, I think many people thought that proteins only come from food, like protein intake. I have to eat protein more, right? But I think this is not true because protein is more than that. So think of a protein as the way our bodies and animal respond to the environment. So in a study by Gamash and the team in 2022, researchers actually exposed fish and aquatic animals to pollutants, including pesticides and heavy metals, using a method called 2D gel electrophoresis. If you don't know, you can search about it.
Yes.
And liquid chromatography tandem mass spectrometry. It's like a chemistry technique that combines separation capabilities of liquid chromatography with the mass analysis capabilities of mass spectrometry. They actually work to analyze protein patterns.
Yes, correct. So therefore, by using that technology, we confirm that proteins that bind to heavy metal and heat shock protein, which protect the cell from stress, increase. This protein act like little shield and emergency responder, because when they are exposed, they are producing more of this protein. Therefore, it can be used as a biochemical signal when the organism is under environmental stress.
Wow, and you know that with these technology that has been introduced, proteomic profiling is poised to play a significant role in environmental biomonitoring. It opened the door to new possibilities, especially in ecological risk assessment and regulatory compliance. We'll be able to identify the environmental stress before it escalates and use the data to inform policy and interventions.
Yeah, very mind-blowing, right? Fish
Yeah,
using
really.
proteins to signal stress. Who would have thought? But it's not just animal. I think plants can do it too. What say you, Hafika?
Alright, let's see it from plant perspective next. In this study, we look at a tiny plant, duckweed, which is also known as lemnar minor,
Now I know.
which can help us monitor water pollution. In the study, scientists exposed this duckweed to cadmium, a toxic heavy metal which are often found in wastewater, to determine how the plant reacts instead of just observing the physical changes when it was already like exposed to 3 years, more years. They went deeper, analyzing how the plant responds at the molecular level by looking at its protein.
Wow, so you mentioned about cadmium. So cadmium is a very toxic metal, and yeah, it can impact our health if exposed to it, right? And also impact to the plant. So when exposed to cadmium, this duckweed produce more specific proteins, such as those that help to combat stress and remove toxin. One type of protein that helps to neutralize this harmful metal, another act as, we can say, like cellular bodyguard. So it aids in detoxifying the plant system. So it means that duckweed can actually act like a natural alarm system. Yeah, it's amazing like how this plant can, adapt to these kind of things, right?
Yeah, and also I believe in the future, this type of research could lead to using duckweed. Yeah, is it? Duckweed not only to clean water, but also as part of low-cost, eco-friendly water monitoring systems. With the help of proteomics, understanding the proteins in these tiny plants may be a key to developing sustainable solution for polluted environment.
Yeah, what a fascinating facts. I am sure that many don't know that. And let's move on to the next case. A lot of people want to know more. Yeah.
Okay, now let's move on to the next case, which is a very, very great case, I can say.
What is it?
It is about the conservation of the black-footed ferret, where scientists sequence its genome to identify inbreeding risk and use that data that they obtain to improve captive breeding strategies. And once thought extinct, the black-footed ferret, or also known as Mustela nigripes. Yes, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but yeah, and it was rediscovered in 1881, sparking intense conservation efforts. Can you imagine that? Oh my God.
I cannot.
Yeah, literally. But however, with only a handful of individuals remaining, the species face severe risk of inbreeding and genetic bottlenecks. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So when talking about this as a functional genomic specialist,
Yeah.
many researchers back then has identified that this gene variant associate with immunity and also survival, facilitating more informed pairing selection for breeding. Conservation genomic leverages the power of DNA sequencing and genetic analysis to gain a deeper understanding of species diversity, population structure, and also evolutionary history. By applying these genomic techniques that I just mentioned just now, scientists and also environmental conservationists can identify genetically distinct population and prioritize them for protection.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Meanwhile, proteomics can confirm that the offspring that were expressing those protective traits, which are essential advantage for survival in the wild for the species. At the same time, by applying the genomic technologies, scientists and also conservationists can track genetic diversity across population, which is ensuring the ecosystem remain healthy, adaptable, and resilient in the face of environmental changes.
Yeah. So all of this innovative approach bridges molecular biology with the conservation efforts, empowering more precise data-driven strategies to protect our planet's natural heritage. So we have seen how functional genomics and proteomics are not just theoretical, they are tools being used globally to tackle real environmental crises.
So these days there are so many technologies, advanced technologies that we have. So let us make use of these technologies. Like, it gives us the power to work with nature more intelligently, not against it. So instead of simply reacting to environmental problems after they occur, genomic enable us to anticipate, understand, and prevent them at their source. Whether it's restoring endangered species, improving crops without harmful chemicals, or cleaning up pollution through natural processes. So we are using science not to dominate nature, but to collaborate with it for a healthier, more sustainable future aligned with the SDG that we are working on globally.
Alright, thank you Azati. I love your perspective. So, as the technology become more affordable and efficient, this method that we mentioned won't just stay in high-tech lab or big research center. They become a standard practice that even can be done in local community. Maybe my grandma can do it, your grandma can do it.
That's
Yes.
right.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, all of our grandma can do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, so imagine small town being able to monitor their water quality using DNL tools, or local farmer using genetic insight to grow healthier crops with fewer chemicals. It's about making cutting-edge science accessible and practical so that everyone, not just us scientists, can contribute to protecting health, nature, and our future.
Yeah.
Wow. I really love like this girls'
Opinion,
ideas.
yeah.
Truly a beauty with brain. Okay. But for me, if we continue to invest in this science, the future of environmental restoration could be more innovative, quicker, and more sustainable than ever before. Is that right, guys?
Yes.
Great.
Instead of relying on slow, traditional methods that often struggle to keep pace with the scale of environmental damage, we can utilize genomics to pinpoint problems early and design intelligent, targeted solutions. It's not just about fixing what's broken, it's about building a stronger, more resilient natural world through the power of science and technology. That's how powerful.
Yeah.
Science very.
Yeah, and there you have it, folks. From tiny microbes cleaning up the oil spills to endangered species getting a second chance at life. Functional genomics and proteomics are changing the game. We have seen how science is no longer locked in the labs, but it's out there in the forest, in the oceans, farm, and even our backyard, making the world cleaner, greener, and more resilient. So, if you learned something new today, share the love, spread the word, inspire someone, and let's keep these conservations going. Until next time, I'm DJ ASYRANI signing off. Stay curious, stay conscious, and keep fighting the good green fight. Peace out.
Yes, and don't forget to share it with your grandma.
Yeah. And bye-bye.
Bye, your grandma, my grandma.